Hello, Team Rockin Lockets. This is Heather Hall, your director and senior director. And first of all, let me just say Happy New Year. Hopefully, you are watching this if you've come back home from a little holiday celebration, or maybe you'll watch it really quick before you head out. But whatever the case, I wish you all a super happy New Year, and please be safe wherever you're traveling tonight. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew what our plan was going in to next year, and I thought today's really the perfect time to go ahead and do that. Why wait until the new year to talk about what we're going to do? Let's go ahead and close out 2015 knowing what our plan is going forward. So that's what we're going to do. This is a pretty quick little webinar, just a few slides, but it's going to give you some highlights of what we're doing. And then I'm going to post the replay onto our Facebook group so that everyone can watch it. So make sure that you share with your teams. Hey, if you want to know what our team's doing for 2016, make sure you watch this because it's fairly self-explanatory once I go through all of the slides. So we're going to go on through here. We have actually added a ton of new designers. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Heather Hall, and like I said, I am your director and senior director. I am married to Greg. He and I are co-designers in this business. We will be married 20 years in August. We have 3 kids. Fisher is 13, Shepherd is 10, and Maggie Grace is 8. As I said, I'm a senior director. My first event that I ever did with Origami Owl was actually in July of 2011. I heard about Origami Owl from Bella's aunt, Jessica Reinhardt. She was one of the founders with the company, and she was the marketing director at the church where my husband was a pastor at the time. So that's how I heard about it, and I heard about it before they had even decided to follow the direct sales model, but I knew it's something that I wanted to be involved in. And I told Jessica, I said, girl, if they ever decide they want to sell this, please let me know. I would love to do that over on the East Coast. I was living in Connecticut at the time. So fast forward a few years later, and I'm still with Origami Owl, obviously. We have approximately 5,500 designers on our team right now. We are represented in every single state, which is amazing. I am known as someone who provides consistent training to our team. That's extremely important to me, that you feel like you have the resources available to be as successful as you want to be. And I'm also probably known more so for our team being Team Big Girl Panties. And the reason for that is I am all about solutions, and I'm all about working through issues and finding what works. If we have an issue, we want to share it, we want to figure out what it is, and then we want to find solutions to the problem. I am not a fan of whining, and I'm even less of a fan of negativity. So you will know that in our group. We take things as they go. We always look for the positive, always assume the best in other people, and always assume they have the best of intention. And we're a family here, and I'm extremely protective of that. And it's important that we are all super positive and super professional in everything that we do, because not only are we representing ourselves, but we're representing our team, and we're representing Origami Owl. So that's fantastic. And I'm super proud of each and every one of you that are on this journey with me. Now, I will tell you, I actually ran a few figures today, and I was really blown away. Since January 2014, which is the furthest back I can go with our current system, our team in wholesale amounts here has purchased $31,949,959 in wholesale jewelry in 2 years. That completely blows my mind. Now, you would think, okay, yeah, well, why is Heather still working? She's a millionaire. Yeah, Heather's not a millionaire. That's our entire team. At one time, we had many more designers on our team right after our the launch with the designers in waiting, and we had this huge flood of designers that came in. Some didn't work their business, and then they faded back out. So what we have now is a nice, comfortable 5,500 designers around the country, and you guys are amazing. We are consistently one of the strongest teams within the company, and I am super proud of you. So not only am I a director and senior director with our team of 55 100. I'm also on the current advisory board. So if you have a question about Origami Owl, if you have a question about policies, procedures, how to handle a jewelry bar, how to deal with positive or difficult customers, I'm here to help you. I have literally seen everything from day one. My kit was actually the first kit that ever left the nest. So I am here to help you on your journey. And I promise you that there's not someone who has been here longer than me that can provide you insight. So I just wanted to share that so that you know that you are with a very strong, a very seasoned team with a lot of experience. So I am once again thrilled that you're here. And for those of you who are new, I wanted just to share a little bit about me and my little journey with Origami Owl. So as you know, we have been under a little construction over the last 60 days or so. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing going forward, because being a director, a senior director, and being on the board and seeing where the company is going and the information that they're providing to us and how they're wanting us to train and where their focus is on and what they're recognizing, it's important for us to remain fluid and change as we need to change to remain successful. I hope that that makes sense. So instead of just continuing on with the same thing that we're doing, I thought that it was really important to just take a step back, figure out what we really need to look like going forward with Origami Owl into the future, starting with 2016. So the last 60 days, there's been a ton of work behind the scenes on figuring out what we want to look like going forward. And I've taken a lot of input from the designers within this team, as well through Facebook, as well as through webinars, and in talking with our directors, and in talking with the other advisory board members, and in talking with our CEO, Brett Blake, as well. So I am very excited to kind of discuss with you and share what I see things looking like going forward and how we're going to try to adjust our team so that we are on the cusp of everything that is going on, so that we are one step ahead instead of one step behind. So I'm just going to share with you what we're doing in each one of these areas. I'm going to talk about what you can expect from me as your director, for your director-led support. Our team Facebook group, I'm going to share a little bit about that. Team training, what we have in store for new designer mentoring, potential designer support, and then we're going to talk about some career and hobby-minded training and how that's going to kind of flesh out and exactly what that means. So let me just go through. So I think that it's important as your director for you to know where my brain is and what I see as where I am going to spend my time. And, you know, the beginning of the year is a perfect time to really stop and consider where your focus should be. And for me, my number one priority is Jesus. My husband is a pastor, and that is the most important thing to our family. And everything that I do, I try to lead by the godly example. So no one is perfect, but that is my focus. So God is always first with me and my family. Then it's family. I know that the more people start to work their Origami Owl business, you will have more work than you can manage. And it's important for you to retain some balance in your life, and so that you can maintain your priorities. So for me, it's God, it's family. And for the past few years, there has really been a huge focus on personal business. For me, I think it's extremely important for me to lead by example, and you need to know that I'm consistently working my business, that if I'm earning a trip, it's based on the work that I'm doing personally and not based on what my team is doing. That's one of the things that's so fantastic about this trip to Cancun, because it wasn't based on any central team volume. It's based on what you are doing in your business, which was fantastic. And I was able to earn that for Greg and I both to go. So just know I am never going to ask you to do anything that I am not doing myself in my personal business. So I have seen a lot of success with that, and I have a consistent personal business, and that's going really well. So for me this year, my focus is actually shifting slightly. And I'm not telling you to put your front line ahead of your personal business, but for me, having built my business for 4 years, it's God, family, and my focus is going to be a little different this year. And then I'm going to be focusing more on my front line. And that's actually part of the changes that we have made with our team page. And I'm going to get into that more in a minute. So God, family, frontline, my personal business, because it's super important for me to continue to lead by example. Our organic team, which is those of you who are listening to this call, which means those that count me as their immediate director, as well as all of the directors that are on our team. And I believe there are 12 now that are on our team. And then our national team, those are the 5,500 designers around the country that may not count me as their immediate director, but they do count me as their upline. And we're going to discuss a little bit more in just a second about how we're going to continue to support them. So director-led support. It's important for you to know my business hours. My office hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then Saturday 9 a.m. to noon. You can consistently get me on the phone during those hours if you need me. I am 99% of the time available to anyone anytime that they call, but I do this business so that I can work it around my family schedule, and my children are out of school around 3 o'clock Central Time. So I may not be quite as available because of homework and getting dinner together and spending time with my family. And then I do not answer calls on Sunday, and I try actually not even to be on Facebook answering calls on Sunday, because I think it's super important that you really save some time for the Lord and for the family. That's our priority. So I'm usually still available, but just so that you know, if I don't get back in touch with you, this is the parameters of when I am for sure available, and I will do my best to get back with you as soon as possible. Now, regarding Facebook, I am really active in our Facebook group, our Rockin Lockets group. I am in there morning, afternoon, and evening most of the time, and I'm in there usually 7 days a week, but going forward, I'm really going to try to be in there 6 days a week, maybe post something on Sunday morning if there's any updates, but normally we don't have updates from the nest over the weekend. So, and what you're going to find from me are daily tips and updates, anything that I think will be helpful as far as marketing assets, any pictures, things that you can share on Facebook, ideas for doing jewelry bars or online parties. If I run across any articles or other groups that I think are helpful, you'll see me share those as well. And as I said before, a professional and positive attitude is required on our page. I am a huge goofball, love to cut up and have fun, but I 100% draw the line at negativity or nastiness to other designers. I do not allow it. I have zero tolerance for it. And if I see it, then you'll just be removed from the page. And it's nothing personal. It's just that this is a business. This is our storefront. We have brand new designers through seasoned designers, people who are working really hard and maybe struggling through how to overcome certain things in their business. And it's really important that we remain positive and focused on the particular situation so that we can provide solutions. And venting and being grumpy never helps. And if you're doing that in a public forum, you're doing that in front of your team, and it's extremely unprofessional. So that's really my little soapbox on that. Just stay positive, be encouraging, and that's just what we're really looking for. If you have a problem, state what the problem is, and we'll work together to find a solution. But if it's negative, then it's gone. And like I said, I really have zero tolerance on that. So that really isn't a surprise to anybody on our team. So there you have it. Training and recognition, what you will find from me going forward. Oh, let me say one more thing about Facebook. Our Facebook group just has those in it right now that count me as their immediate director, and I have a slide in a minute about that. But currently we have about 800 and something people in that group. There are an additional 800 and something people that are not in that group, which means there are people on your team that are not in our Facebook group. And even if they are not big Facebook users, I highly encourage you to add them to this group. This is a great partnership for them to have access to their upline, access to their peers, access to resources and tips and best practices and updates and all that good stuff. So when you get off of this webinar, make sure that you go through your downline. Make sure that you're friends with these people on Facebook. Make sure that you add them. If you're not friends with them on Facebook and you don't really want to be friends with everybody on Facebook, that's okay. You can send them an invitation through an email invite on there. And as soon as you add them, I just verify that they're part of our organic team, and then I can approve their addition to the group. So that's the last bit about Facebook. So training and recognition, my goal with all of you is to have monthly recognition for you specifically. And that's actually part of why we removed our national team from this group, because when you have 12 directors under you and I'm trying to recognize everyone, it's very difficult for me to really focus on those of you who are my organic team, who count me as your immediate director. And that's really where my focus needs to be, is on you, because the other directors have directors that are mentoring them and are leading those teams. And know that all of the directors in our organization, they continue to have access to our Facebook group, and any training that I provide, they have 100% access to, and they can take and provide that to their team if they decide to do that. So if you're still friends with anyone who is no longer in this group but is part of our national team, make sure you encourage them that all of the training that you're receiving, they can be receiving as well through their immediate director. So hopefully that will be encouraging. So the monthly recognition, periodic incentives that we're going to have going forward, and I don't have a set schedule for those. We're just going to do them you know, just periodically, and just going to see how that goes. And then consistent monthly team training. Like I said, I am huge about consistent team training. I think it's super important that it's continuing education, and it keeps us on our toes and keeps us fresh and well informed and helps us be better designers and leaders in the field. So you're going to see consistent monthly team training. And then individual team calls and mentoring as scheduling allows. You're going to see going forward kind of where the majority of my schedule is going to be spent. But if I have additional time in my schedule and you're like, hey, I've got 5 girls that are here local, could we FaceTime with you when we have our local team meeting? Or hey, could you do a call with my team of 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever? Absolutely. I'm your director and I'm here to help you. And if you think my presence on a call or just me being available for some questions and answers with your team would be helpful, I am more than happy to do that. So just reach out to me and we'll see what we can do about a schedule. Okay, so our Rockin Lockets Parliament group, this little group right now, it's got 861 members. Like I said, it's our organic team, those who count me as their immediate director. And there are 12 directors within our national team. And I had decided about 2 years ago that I was going to close this group just to those who counted me as their immediate director. And people were upset, not upset with me personally, but upset because they weren't going to have this as a resource. And here's the reality. To have 5,500 people that you're responsible for is very difficult. And to be able to really speak into their businesses and make a sizable impact is even more difficult. I have consistently done team training, boot camps, Summit Academy, individual groups, all sorts of things for all of these people who are on our team. And I love it, and I will continue to provide stuff for people. But the reality is the new direction that our leadership is taking us is really focusing on team leader levels and being very intimate and organic with what you're doing. So instead of me trying to focus on 5,500 people, I need to focus on those who are looking to me specifically for their leader as their director. And those of you who are on this call, that allows me to be a better mentor to you because you have more access to me. You have access to me for team calls, you have access on webinars, you have access for new designer training, for potential designer calls. It allows me to be more intentional and more intimate in the training that I can provide to you, which in turn is going to have a bigger impact on my business, a bigger impact on your business, as well as a stronger start for any new designers that you have that are coming on. So hopefully that makes sense and everyone sees the benefit of breaking off and allowing our other extremely and successful directors to manage their specific team so that each group can get more individual attention. Think about it as a class size. If you have 100 people in a class versus you have 12 people in a class, smaller class size means more individual attention and better results. So that's really the model that we're going forward. And another thing is, if you think about it, if someone looks at someone who's a director, so if I have a new designer who wants to get to director and she's like, oh my gosh, to have 5,000 people on your team and you have to be up at all hours of the night and you have to train all these people and you have to do a team event with 300, 400 people, that's a lot. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I can't balance that with my family. And that's not what we want this to be. This is not intended to be chaotic. This is intended to enrich your lives and then enrich the lives of your family, enrich the lives of your teams. And so that's why we're making these changes. And so I hope that you see it as a positive and you see that it allows me to be more hands-on with you. And I think we're going to see huge results in our stats as a team because of this over the next 90 days. I'm really confident in that, and I can't wait to share all of those with you. So like I said, all of the directors within our national team have access to this page. They can watch these webinars, anything that we provide, they can provide with their team if they want. But the reality is that they are all amazing and competent women, and they probably have training that's slightly different that they're doing with their teams as well. So it's a win-win all around. So let's see here. Eek. Okay, so on our main team page, our Rockin Lockets page, January 1st through February 29th, we're going to be doing a Rockstar reboot, where we're going to be focusing on the simple daily tasks like the vital behaviors. And it's going to be focusing on promoting team leaders. That's our goal. If you look at how the Nest is recognizing designers and how the Nest is determining our points for Story Builder, for Alchiever, everything is based on your personal business, and it's based on you promoting leaders. Team leader, you need to have the 3 people. You need to have the 1,500 in your central team volume. It's totally doable. I know looking back through just my front line, and I encourage all of you to do this as well, go back and look at your front line and see how many team leaders you have. And are they hitting team leader consistently? And if they're not, what can you do to help them? So your goal is to try to identify those people, because that's really where our focus is going to be over the next basically 60 days. And if you don't have anyone on your team and you're like, hey, well, I don't have all that, but I want to be a team leader. Well, our goal is to help you get those people on your team, to help, the people that have interest in Origami Owl. My job as your director is to partner with you. You bring them and I'll talk to them about the business so that you can see how to talk to them, what you need to share. We'll share the opportunity, provide some incentives for our new designers as they join, really focus on training them so that they can start really strong and help you build your business. It is 100% possible for you to become a team leader in 60 days if you are not. And if you have designers who are just 1 or 2 designers away, it's totally doable. So for the next basically 60 days, our focus is going to be on getting those who are not team leaders to team leaders within our team. And we're going to be focusing on the simple daily task. I'm going to post something, and literally what you need to do is just say done. Even if it's, take a picture of your 3 points of jewelry that you have on today, or who did you talk to, or have you filled out your calendar for the week on how many people you've spoken to, really focusing on our vital behaviors, and it's going to have a huge impact on our business. So January 1st through February 29th is our Rockstar Reboot Simple Daily Tasks, and our focus is on locating and promoting team leaders. And I'm going to provide a little more detail about that going forward. So I hope you're excited about that. Now, team training. one of the things that we're going to do, and I had done this consistently until we moved, is we just moved to Tennessee towards the end of the summer, by the way. Team training, the first Thursday of every month is going to be our team webinar, and it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the first Thursday of every month. And it's going to be live. It will be, I'm thinking about recording it, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that, but I'm leaning towards it. How about that? So it's going to be recognition, best practices, any nest training, and Q&As if you have any questions for me. Going forward into the new year, you may see some changes with Origami Owl, you know, just going into the new year with their products and with recognition and how they really want us to work our businesses. I know they've been working behind the scenes like crazy. So that's going to be a great time for you to touch base with me and say, okay, can you explain this to me? How does this work? How does it impact me personally as well as my team? So the first one of those is on January the 7th. That's Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be posting the link within our group, and I will also be sending an email to everyone who is on our organic team. Now, even though I am sending them to everyone, my initial responsibility is to my first line, and their responsibility is to their first line, and so on and so on. So please don't just rely on me posting something in a group assuming that your team sees that. You as their mentor, it's your responsibility to make sure that your front line is informed. So if we do a great job of that, then our team is going to be super informed, and we're going to have lots of participation, and we're going to see that as our stats continue to improve in our team. So January 7th at 9 p.m. is our first team call of the year, and we're going to be going over our year-end recognition, which is going to be great. So this is super fun. Eek! I'm excited about this. This is our new designer mentoring, and it's going to be called Hoot Camp, which our sweet designer Greta came up with this name. Actually, we were talking about potential designers, and she came up with that, and I said, you know what, that's fantastic, but I'm actually going to use it for new designer mentoring, and I'm going to send her a goodie for coming up with that great name. So this is going to be a new designer Facebook group, and it's going to be for a 90-day period. So new designers come in, they stay in there for 90 days. Over 90 days, our goal is to get them through their SOAR to success and to help them get to team mentor. Sometimes it's going to happen all at once. Sometimes it's going to be one or the other. But the goal is to help people have a fantastic start in their business. And like I said, it's for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, then those new designers come out and they go on to something else. Team leader and SOAR to success is the goal. Who's going to be in that group? It's going to be new designers and their mentors and myself. So if you have a new designer that starts, you as well as that designer are going to go into that group. And here's a neat thing. Within that group, you're going to have designers that start, say, December, January, and February, all in there at one time. But within that group, we're going to have an event. So I can just check up with those designers and say, hey, it's the end of your 30 days. Those of you who started in December, you know, let's have a call. See how'd your first 30 days go? How did your first 60 days go? How did 90 days go? So we're going to really be able to touch base with them. But it's going to be a separate group. And the reason for that is, if you think back when you were a brand new designer and you think about how you were in the group and your mentor was there and all these other designers who have been here forever, and you feel intimidated about asking questions and you don't want to sound silly or elementary. So we want to make sure that new designers have a place where they feel safe and comfortable to where they can ask the simple questions and they don't have to worry about somebody being grumpy to them. So it's basically like a little incubator for 90 days for our new designers to really have a lot of hands-on mentoring. So that's our Hoot Camp. And the link to that is going to be posted in the main group at the end of this webinar. After I post the webinar, I'm going to post those as well. So if you have a new designer that started in December, then we're going to go ahead and add them into the group. And as you have new people that join in January, you're going to add them into the group as well. So it may sound a little complicated at the beginning, but we're going to become a well-oiled machine as we start all of these new processes for the new year. And I'm really excited about that. So make sure that you bring your new peeps from December over to the Hoot Camp and I will be approving them to jump in there. Potential designers. Sweet Amy Von Inns came up with, I'll think about it, stinking cute. That's our new potential designer support. And who's going to be in that group? It's going to be potential designers and their potential mentors. And every Monday night, we're going to have something for them. The first Monday of every month, we're going to do a live call and a Facebook opportunity event. And if we have a minimum of 10 potential designers in that group, I'm going to give a $150 gift card away that they can use to help go towards their kit, or they can use that to buy business supplies or whatever they want to do to begin their business. So I think that's a great way to get people excited about the business. They can have interaction with other designers. They can have interaction with other potential designers. Just remember that the I'll Think About It group is only for the mentor and a potential designer. It's not for current designers to ask questions. It's for us strictly supporting the potential designers. So every other Monday of the month, we're going to have a live call. And those seem to have been pretty successful going forward. I kind of go over all of the information about Origami Owl, information about the kit, and all that good stuff. I'm there for questions and answers. And then I really like to interview a designer within our team so that they have the perspective of someone who's not a director already, but someone who's working their business. And we go over some basic questions as to, you know, what first drew them to Origami Owl, what kit did they choose, and why did they do it? Why are they here with Origami Owl? So those personal touches I think are really helpful. So our first event is actually Monday, January the 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be our live call and Facebook opportunity event. And we've not done it before, and I hope it's going to be awesome. We got some cute videos that we're going to show in there. And the link to that will also be posted in our Facebook group. So make sure that you grab all of your potential designers and get them over to that group. And then when they decide to join, then we're going to promote them from the I'll Think About It into our Rockin Lockets group and have a huge celebration for them. So we're super excited about that as well. So goal-focused support. I want to kind of share with you the thought process of how designers are kind of broken down. If you have someone who's doing under $250 in PV a month, this is someone who is not doing a jewelry bar. Basically, one jewelry bar is $250. So you have someone who does $20, $30, $50 a month. That's not really a job for them. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a part-time job, you're working a minimum of 10, 15, probably 20 hours a week. If you're not doing one jewelry bar, you're not really even working 3 or 4 hours a week. So you can't really count that as a job. That's more of a hobby, which is fantastic. Some people just join Origami Owl, you know, for the personal discount or just to hang out with other ladies and not be home with their toddlers all the time. So, and the other part is part-time, those who are looking to do 1 to 2 jewelry bars a month. Then you have those who are doing 3 to 4. That's consistent. That's 1 a week. And then you have those who are really looking at making this more of a career. They're looking for a leadership position. They're looking to really make a sizable dent into their bills for the month, looking for full-time income. And that would be career to elite. And we're going to kind of see how this flushes out. We're going to look at this over a period of about 90 days and see how this goes. Just to give you an idea, when I first started Origami Owl, for me, I just wanted to earn $700 a month. So I was doing 3 to 4 jewelry bars for a couple of months just to make sure that I was going to be able to continue to make that money. And then when I was like, wow, I'm really able to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold 12 jewelry bars a month. And I did 12 jewelry bars a month. I believe it was for 3 months in a row. And when you make a decision to be very committed to your business and you don't take no for an answer and you set a goal and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do that. If it's in person or if it's online or it's a catalog party, I'm doing 12 of them this month. It's going to have such a huge impact on your business. And the $1,000 a month PV, you're going to well exceed that. You're going to well exceed the $2,500 mark for Alchiever easily. So these are kind of how I see designers broken down into. So hobby, part-time, career, and elite. And one of the things that you may want to do with your designers as you go into the new year is talk to them about what their goals are, so that you know, if somebody's a hobbyist, you're there to support them, but it allows you the opportunity to not get frustrated that they're not doing more. You're wondering why they're not. Talk to them and see what their goals are. And then if you have someone who wants to do a career or elite level, then you really know that you'll be able to do a lot of one-on-one mentoring with that person. So make sure you reach out to your front line and kind of see where they fall. If it's hobby, part-time, career, or an elite, someone who's really looking to knock it out of the park with their business. So Rockin Locket Elite, this is what we were talking about right over in this area. What we're going to do, we're also actually going to have a separate group, which we talked about on our last conference call, called the Rockin Lockets Elite. And what we're going to start, I said it was $1,000 or more, but starting into the new year, we're going to kind of draw a line in the sand and have a baseline. So designers who had $500 in PV in November and December, those are the designers that we're going to start with in the elite group. And the reason for that is it is super simple to have $500 in PV in November and December. That is our biggest time of the month. So for designers who are doing $500 or more in PV, I know those designers are really looking at this as a business and not even so much part-time, like they are really pursuing this and they've worked their business through the holidays. So we'll continue to have our main page where we're doing our reboot that really allows designers the opportunity to figure out what their goals are and what they're wanting to do with their business. But for those for the last 2 months of this year who have consistently worked their business at a career level of $500 or more, we're going to have a separate group called Rockin Lockets Elite. And then designers will be added on a monthly basis based on having $500 in PV a month. If you do not have $500 in PV a month, then you'll be removed from that group and allowed back into the main group. And that's nothing personal, but if you think about it, in order to be a director with Origami Owl, you need to be doing $700 a month in personal volume. So what we're looking at is people who are really career-minded, and that's what this group is intended for. So those designers who are career-minded, who are doing a minimum of $500 a month, this will really be a place for them to have one-on-one contact with me to determine, hey, what is it that I need to do to help my team with this, to really bounce ideas off of other ones who are working their business at the same pace. And it's going to allow them the opportunity to really hone in on their leadership skills to help them be better mentors for their teams as well. So they'll have additional calls with me, additional team webinars or calls with me as their director. And then we're going to reevaluate that on March 1st and see where we need to be. Maybe we change this to Rockin Lockets Career, and then maybe we create another group for Elite. I'm not really sure, and we're going to have to kind of see how that fleshes out. So this is our initial voyage on the Rockin Lockets Elite, and it's going to be at the $500 level. So, and I'm not going to post the link for that group. I'm going to be adding each of you individually over the next 2 or 3 days. So I'm excited about that as well. So just a quick recap, potential designer group, our OWL Think About It. The first event is for January 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be posting some graphics that you can use to invite people. Make sure that you don't just put something on Facebook and call it quits. Try to invite 5 people between now and the 4th to get them into that group so that we can have a lot of excitement as we start the new year. And there's a lot of people who are considering the opportunity with Origami Owl, and this is a perfect time for us to really capitalize on. They got Christmas money they want to spend, they got debt they need to pay off, and everyone's looking for a fresh start in January. So this is a perfect time for us to really build and breathe new life into our team. So the Rockin Lockets Camp is our new designer 90-day program going forward. And I think that's going to be fantastic. Each month we'll have a new group that's added. It's going to rotate over 90 days, and then we're going to put them in, build them up, spit them out into the main group, and get them on over to the Elite as well. And then Rockin Lockets Elite, that's the career path designer group for those who are really serious about taking their business to the next level. And then on our main team page, we have our Rockstar Reboot, January 1 through February 29th. And our January team webinar is on Thursday, January the 7th. So that's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to recap that real quick. Potential designer group, I'll think about it. First event is on January the 4th. That's for all potential designers and their mentor. The link will be provided. Rockin Lockets Hoot Camp for new designers, a 90-day program to get them to team leader and through sort of success. Also, that link will be provided for you. Rockin Lockets Elite Career Path Designer Group, $500 and up for those leaders. Rockstar Reboot main team page, January 1 through February 29th, to get you back in the groove of your business and promote everyone to team leader. Paid at team leader or higher is our goal. And then our January team webinar, where we're going to recognize our end of the year rock stars, talk about a little bit more about what's going forward and all that good stuff. Have some Q&A and some nest training. Is January the 7th. That's Thursday. It says 7th p.m. That would be 9 p.m. Thursday, January the 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a lot to digest. Feel free to watch this more than once if you want, or ask me any questions that you have. So it is now 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and our family is off to go have some hamburgers with some friends. I hope you all have an amazing New Year, and I will see you in our groups. Happy New Year, everyone.